Hi, my name's Claire from Bob Wilson 123, and together with my friends at allfreecrochet.com we are going to show you how to make this really easy single crochet bracelet. This project is great for beginners, so I hope you enjoy. For this project we are going to need some scrap yarn, a crochet hook that is recommended for your yarn, a button, a pair of scissors and a sewing needle to sew in your ends. Make sure your needle has a big eye on it so it's easy to thread your yarn. First of all, we want to start with a slip knot. Grabbing your short piece and placing it over the long piece to create a loop. It looks like the letter P. Folding down our loop, grabbing our hook, putting it under the middle strand and out the other side, and then pushing up with our hook and grabbing both pieces of yarn, we've created our slip knot. We need to make a chain that is big enough to go around our wrist. So going under the yarn with our hook, grabbing it with the hook and pulling through the loop, we've created our first chain stitch. So going under with the hook and then pulling through, we've created another chain stitch. Going under with our hook, I'm twisting the hook around and pulling through. And we want to do this for as many chains as we need to fit around our wrist. So measuring our chain to see that it goes around our wrist, and we're not pulling it tight, we're just loosely putting it around our wrist to make sure it will fit. So I've still got a bit of gap there, it's just loosely around our wrist. Now we are going to start our single crochets, and we do not count the loop that is on the hook. We need to go into the second chain. Here is our first one, and this is our second one here. So going into our second chain, we have two loops on our hook. We're going to wrap our hook around our yarn, pulling through a loop. We have two stitches on our hook. Now we want to wrap our yarn around our hook and pulling through two. That has completed the first single crochet. So going into our next chain stitch, wrapping our yarn and pulling through to pull up a loop. We have two loops on our hook, yarning over and pulling through both of those loops. That has created another single crochet. Going into the next chain stitch and then yarning over. We have two loops on our hook, yarning over, pulling through two stitches. We have completed our next single crochet, and we want to do this all the way across. This project is perfect for beginners because we only use the single crochet as our stitch and also the chain stitch, and these are normally the first two stitches that we get taught when we learn how to crochet. So you just repeat this all the way across until you come to the end of your chain, and we want to make sure we go into the last chain with a single crochet and now we now have our bracelet, and it is going to start to curl just a little bit. See how that's starting to curl around? That is quite normal, and it doesn't matter because it won't curl once it's on our wrist. Now to finish off, we are just going to do a chain. So we're going to wrap our yarn around our hook and pull it through, and just pull it up like that. And then we are going to cut off some yarn, and we want to leave about 4 to 6 inches because we need to sew on our button. So just pulling on the loop, and that will come through and secure that down. So just pulling tight on our knot, we have the first part of our bracelet done.